sound of Universal Broadcasting Network.
'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven.
A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
It's the Contagious Optimism Show with inspiring host Sunny Chayes, featuring best-selling author David Mezzapelle. Real people with real stories of perseverance and hope. Join Sunny and guests ranging from Contagious Optimism co-authors to world leaders as they find the silver lining. Better understand why optimism is so empowering. Be recharged, inspired, and perhaps surprised as they tap into the secrets of a joyful life. To celebrate the human spirit. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific on UBN Radio and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific on Gwen Network TV Stories. Contagious Optimism.
Hello, guys. This is Sunny Chayes, and you are with me today on Contagious Optimism, and I have a true treat for us today. I have Reverend Sylmarah Baruti with me from Jamaica, although she's also here in the States, and I'm going to tell you more about her. I also want to just mention that I came back from the first Contagious Optimism live event, and it was amazing. Woohoo! With David Mezzapelle and a host of incredible speakers and singers and performers of all kinds. And the stories were so inspiring and everything. And I just really want to give a shout out to everybody because it was so powerful. We're going to do another one in October here in LA. So back there in Jupiter, Florida, and then in a few months out here in LA. And I really want to give a shout out to David Mezzapelle. God, I just get choked up. You know, we hear so much, people talk so much about being whatever people say they are about themselves. And, you know, I'm this, I'm spiritual, I walk this talk, I walk that talk. And rarely in my life have I ever met somebody who is so true to who they are and what they say and how they live their life. So I want to really honor David Mezzapelle for being a person who's a huge inspiration to me, to many, many people. And at this event, what ended up happening, which I'm finding more and more is happening all over the world and all with all of us as we get a little older and wiser, is that there were many, many people there who are doing many things. They used to be an attorney and now they're a singer, or they used to be a business person doing financial aspects of life and now they are climbing mountains, or maybe they're doing both, or maybe they're adding even a third thing in, like, okay, now I want to paint. And so I think that's a really interesting aspect about life. I think it has something to do with our financial situations that are going on, and also just I think it's just much more fun, actually, to be doing more things and not just get stuck in one thing. So, guys, remember, we can do all different things. Just because you were doing one thing and you were an elementary school teacher, you can now become a kayak, instructor in Colorado. So, again, a shout out to David for bringing everyone together. And not only was it a gift for all the people who were viewing our event, but honestly and truly, it was as much, if not more, a gift for all of us who participated. We received so many gifts on so many levels. People were doing things they'd never done before, speaking in a way they never had before, or just getting up in front of a group and actually being a speaker where they hadn't done that before. So that's what it's all about, people. Let's do new things. Let's do new things. So, speaking of a person who does a lot of things, I'm going to chat about our Reverend Sylmarah Baruti, who is Jamaican born and certified as a metaphysical Christian minister. And through intense training and experience in substantial healing modalities, she's created something that I really want to hear about, Somatheta Healing, which is a system of unlocking feelings of bliss by working with theta brainwaves. I can't wait to hear more about that, Missy. Also, the author of a very interesting sounding book, The Superior Aspects of Woman, with the tagline, an anthology of tributes to feminine nobility. Wow. And then another book I love the title of this. I never cried for myself. I can only imagine the pain and everything that you went through with that writing. And then, and with the tagline, Meditations to Heal the Soul. And she was actually also on the film documentary panel at the Conscious Life Expo. Marianne Williamson was there, and a whole cast of fab femmes were there. And so we're going to also learn about sacred modalities from the Temple of Isis, and also sacred modalities that have been passed down to our Reverend through her Jamaican female lineage. So many more things to talk about, but let us just bring you on, for God's sakes.
Thank you so much, Sunny. You're awesome. You're awesome. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Oh my gosh, what a beauty you are. You are just a vision of loveliness. I'm just mesmerized by you.
Well, I'm a reflection of you. I'm reflecting back at you.
Ooh, well, this is one of those times I like the reflection.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a little painful, but this was a good one.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I have a teenage daughter.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Wow, yes, indeed. So let's get to it. I want to talk about what you want to talk about. So you go first. Bring whatever you want to start us out.
Okay, well, I think it's always good to get a little background information, and I'll just make it nice and sweet.
Okay.
As you mentioned, I was born in Jamaica, and my grandmother Wisdom, was the one who began my training from the age of 4. And some of the things she passed on to me was the power of prayer, and how you can transform energy through praying from your heart to, well, I'll just use the spiritual forces, because, like Star Wars, may the force be with you. Well, the forces are with us all the time. She taught me about herbology and how to be meditative and be with myself, be at peace with myself. Even at the young age of 4, I would spend hours with myself, reading, meditating, just reflecting on what I was seeing around me. And so from there, I went to Canada, by the way. I know I didn't mention that to you. I became of age and in Canada, and I met my high school sweetheart in high school. The 10th grade. We were 14 and 15 years old. And after we graduated, we got married. And unfortunately for me, as intensely and as passionately as we loved each other, it turned out to have another dark side to it. And after about a year of marriage, I entered into the shadow zone of what is known as domestic violence or intimate partner violence. And it was unexpected, and it was simply because I thought I was grown up, and I made a decision to go out and get something like, after dark for a meal, and he had told me not to go. And I went, and he was out, and as I came back, he was there. And that was the first time I experienced someone that I loved dearly turning against me. I call that, like the movie with Julia Roberts, Sleeping with the Enemy. We do that all the time. That's so perfectly. So the marriage lasted 10 years and 2 wonderful, wonderful children. But it took me many, many, many more years to recover from that. And my book, I Never Cried for Myself, that title, because I don't think people realize, like, it's a war zone when you're in a domestic violence situation. And and especially when children are involved, you spend time trying to make sure the other person, whether it's a husband or a parent or whomever it may be, they are not going to do something that could be the end of your life. You spend time trying to make sure that doesn't escalate. So your brain is just constantly like a cornered animal. How do I make sure I stay alive? How do I make sure my children are okay? How do I make sure I don't say the right thing or look at him the wrong way or make the wrong move? And so you don't have time to think about the situation you're in. And that's why it's like I never cried for myself. And not only that, oftentimes those people with issues who abuse someone, they choose the right victim.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll own that, felt more for my victimizer than I was feeling for myself.
Wow.
So that's where the title came in. I never cried for myself. I was always thinking about, oh, he's in pain, he's suffering. This is, he's doing, how can I help him? How can I make it better? So, and that's my story. And eventually I got out, and I used everything available to me to heal. Because by the time I got out of that situation, I knew that it was not going to change, and I knew I had to get out for myself and my children.
So in steps all of the tools that you learned from your ancestors, from your grandmother, from your soul, and congratulations, by the way, for getting out. It is a very, very, very almost like an octopus situation where when you think you can go out this way, then something grabs you from where you don't even expect. So I honor you about that. And I also honor the beautiful person I see in front of me, and that you are here. And I'm very grateful about that for myself personally and selfishly.
Thank you very much.
Really.
I appreciate that.
So I'm so excited to also know about these things that you learned from your grandmother. It's so exciting to me.
Sure. Believe it or not, every culture or society has what I call a holy book. And basically, we may dialogue about my book is better than your book, but I've studied many of the world's major religions, and we know the major ones, and some of the minor ones, and I've discovered that they pretty much say the same thing.
I absolutely agree.
Right?
They do.
Do
the
unto
minor,
others
the major.
as you'd like done unto you.
Yes.
Brotherhood of mankind. Those
basically
the same. We're one.
Yes, exactly.
We're one. And
love myself as I love God, as God would love me, as I would love you, as I would have you love me. We're done.
We're done.
That's it.
Yeah. And
that's it. Now that's the end of the
So,
story. And the beginning of the story.
The beginning, Alpha and Omega.
Mm-hmm.
And what my in being from Jamaica, she used the Bible. So the Bible and the Psalms in the Bible. And Jamaica is a beautiful place, no doubt about it. But it's also a place of much poverty and a separation, extreme separation between the wealthy and the poor. There's no middle class, or very tiny. I was part of a middle class, but it's a very small middle class. And so in order to, and we are also carried forth from slavery, which I call the Great Exodus, the knowledge and the science of healing. Magic in Jamaica, we call it obia, or people might know it as voodoo or santeria. But it's really the science and art of using herbs and the energies through prayer to transform your life. Some people use it negatively and some people use it positively. Mm-hmm. My grandmother would not necessarily identify with someone that uses obia, but the part that she used, the part of light, is through prayers and the prayers in the Bible. So that's where I started. So whenever, and she was a dreamer, by the way, her mystical talent was she was able to dream, and through dream time, able to say to us each day, she'd say, if she had a dream, listen, be careful of this today. And she'd tell us all. She had 8 children. And I'm the second grandchild and the first granddaughter. And the elder one is a male. Mm-hmm. And so she would tell us as we would go to school, and her daughters and sons would go off to work, because we are an extended family kind of community. It's not like where you become an adult and you take off and you're on your own. You stay there until you're ready to leave. And you may never be ready, and that's okay.
It's beginning to be more like that here in the States, too.
Again, yes.
Out of financial necessity, but I think it's actually kind of a cool thing.
I think it's a cool thing. I really do. And, and so she would tell us, be careful, because I had this dream of maybe she might say, I saw a vision of dirty water. And she would be able to interpret it. Watch out for cars or whatever she'd say. And sometimes even with her the warnings, it would still happen to someone in the family. And then herbs, how to use herbs for healing. So I was with her from the age of 3 until 11. And then I returned to my parents in Canada. I didn't say much about my mom, but she had gone to England to study nursing in order to make a better life for us. And so that's kind of the short of my grandmother's teaching. Then from the age of 11, I was left kind of on my own to continue studying. And these are all, by the way, she did not sit me down and say, I am going to teach you these things now. It was like in the traditional sense of you watch and you learn. And she may say a word, or she may say, come with me and hang the clothes with me while she's talking to me, or open the book, read the Bible, read this, and tell me what does it mean. Just things like that. So it was always through a dialogue, because I'm very young at 4, and even still at 11.
Yeah.
But it's later on, looking back, I was able to see the foundation that she set for me.
And living by example. I mean, you saw your grandmother in action with many people in a community, and the life there, I know, is very, I almost want to say the word raw. It's very...
It's raw.
Okay, so let's just say it. It's raw.
It's real.
It's raw. It's real.
Unseen world is real
and
in Jamaica. I was taught about this is what you do if this happens. The spirit realm is real. We talk about angels. We talk about disembodied entities. We talk and we teach. We have rituals. They tell you this is, at least for me, I had that experience. If you have this, if you're awakened and you're having this kind of experience, these are the words that you say. This is how you get away from, that feeling sometimes of, oh, there is something in the room and I can't move. Well, we had a name for what that was. Things like do not throw water outside at night, because you may throw water on a spirit.
Wow.
And they may not like that. Okay. So,
yes, like that. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Someone's calling us in. When you were saying that about the water, it made me think about something my brothers and sisters used to do to me at Christmas. But anyway, I'll tell you in a minute. Hello, person.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to find out if Dr. Baruti is on today. Doctor, on the ladies' show today.
She is, and she's right with me right now. This is Sunny Chayes, and you're on Contagious Optimism.
Pardon
So
me?
you're actually live on the show with us right now.
Oh, no, I don't want to be like, what channel? I'm here, Ann Walker. I'm not trying to hear Miss Walker.
Okay, I think that you need to call the office. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Okay, so when you were talking about that, I was thinking about just different things that our family did too. But anyway, back to the teachings of just like how was there a lot about, kind of positive living or beauty by example, living in a way that was deeply joyous by example, perhaps.
Absolutely. My grandmother sang. She had the most beautiful voice, and she sang. And I must say, the lifestyle in Jamaica at the time was positive and joyful. Even though I mentioned those things, it was both. It was everything. There was no part of life that was not included. So the fruits, I'm basically a fruitarian. The flowers, the trees, the family doing things together, the growing of
the ritual, perhaps.
Yes, the growing of foods. In our home had maybe, and I'm from the city. I'm not from the country, so I can name easily 20 different fruit trees. So just as a child, being able to lay on the ground and look up at the sun, and climb the roof, and running around naked in the rain, which was warm, playing with my cousins and even my aunts and uncles who were just a few years older than me. It was and building the home together, painting the home together, gardening together, planting fruits, pineapples and and other types of fruits that I haven't seen to this day here in California. Although we have so many fruits here, so it was just normal. There are things that were normal, having chickens and ducks and pigeons and things like that. And this is city life.
Oh,
So, yeah.
city life. This is
Yeah.
not country life. This is not
No.
Green Acres is the place for me.
That's right. No.
This is city life.
This
City
is,
life.
This is city life. So city life it's not like city
It's
in
still
New York or city.
connected.
Exactly.
Whoa, that's so
it's
cool.
very connected. It's very
That's
much
how I
connected.
feel about
Yeah.
that. And that's what I feel even with, for me, I've been really feeling so much about getting back to nature and just being in the sand at the beach or
Yes.
being, I've had guests on off and on in the last couple months talking about being in the mountains. I had this great guest, David Martin, who was talking about sort of going from the marketplace or the financial market to the mountains. And it
Yes.
just made me, just every fiber of my being was saying, city girl, you gotta get out there into nature and
Yes.
to live a whole life that way.
That's
I
right.
can imagine that people's just health, just physical as well as emotional health, hormones, just all that stuff that affects us would be so much more in balance, I would think.
Yeah. Well, it changes the way you see the world. Let's put it that way. Your experience with the world and nature is very different because you're never separated from nature.
Yes.
Even though people
and we are nature, and we
Yeah,
forget that. I mean, when
exactly.
you say you're never separated from nature, the
We-
truth is we're not.
We're
But
not.
we
We
kind
feel
of
that.
do it.
Yes, we can feel that way. For instance, when I left Jamaica and I went to Canada, where my mom took me was to an apartment building, which was a very strange thing for me. I'm like, because I'm used to being in a house where you walk outside and that's your yard.
Yeah.
And your neighbor is a little bit away, but there's a line that divides. But there's this apartment building with multiple people living in
And
it.
that's just bizarro world.
It was.
Oh my gosh!
So that's
know,
what I mean about city
yes.
versus nature and being separated from
Yeah.
it in a way in these little cubicles.
It's these boxes.
Yes.
They say so much about that these days, about us living in boxes, looking at boxes, being in boxes.
Yeah.
I want to actually I want to make sure that we get to a few things here. I really want you to chat a little bit about Somatheta Healing. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, Somatheta Healing, yes. Well,
And this is something that you came by, you originated.
I came by, yes, from being a hypnotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been, when I became a single mom, when I separated, and I had 2 young girls, and this was not the dream that I had envisioned
Right.
for myself, that I was going to be a single mom in a one household family, because I wanted to break some of the legacy of seeing single moms like I had seen in my family and I was seeing here in the U.S. I did not want to be a part of that statistic of black single mother.
Right.
And also, remember, I'm from Jamaica, so I'm a foreigner. So I have some concerns about how to navigate and have my children navigate this. Even though I'm black, I'm still Jamaican, so it's still different. It's a whole different set of experience in how I'm looking at what I'm seeing.
Ooh.
So I had to look at how do I create now as a single mom what I initially wanted. How do I recreate this? So I decided I needed to work from home so I could be present for my children. And although I had a very privileged life when I was married, I had housekeeper, I had all of those things. And at first I still had that when we separated, but eventually that all went away for various reasons. So I decided I wanted to work at home. So I began to transition out of working. I had a nice job in Bel Air, property management, but still, it was still a challenge to climb as high as I wanted to climb. Mm-hmm. So even they would hire new people and wanted me to train that person, even though I had applied for the position.
Whoa.
So the last time that happened to me, I said, no, I'm not training anyone. I need to get out of Dodge because this is not going to happen for me.
I need to be my own boss.
Yes, and culturally, part of what I came with is having your own business is a good thing. Yes. Independence is a good thing. Mm-hmm. Being free and managing.
Creative also.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I love making things. So I studied hypnosis. I got my PhD in hypnosis. I studied other things because at this time, once I separated, I was studying everything. I mean, this was like a whole new world. I was waking up. I was having all these spiritual experiences, and I need to know what the heck was going on. I'm hearing things. I'm seeing things. And I called up UCLA because at that time I saw that they had a paranormal department. I called them up. They go, okay, we did away with that department. We don't have it, but I can give you these referrals. And they referred me to a psychic in Beverly Hills and a wonderful church in Santa Monica. And I called up the psychic, and she was way beyond my budget. And I'm like, no way, I'm not paying that. So I called up the spiritual church, a metaphysical church in Santa Monica, and I liked that. And I went there and I took classes, and I learned psychometry. I learned to trust my intuition, how to begin to use these senses. And I discovered that, you know, I'm very psychic. I'm very intuitive. I have all these healing abilities. I had names for them now. People there, I found a family.
Oh, beautiful.
Everyone, they were healing. We had people from all over the world, shaman from all over the world. You know, this person was a walk-in. This person was from another planet. And so you take what you wanted and you left the rest. Whatever you liked, you whatever you resonated with, nothing was being forced on you. You would take it and you would leave. Oh, I can't relate to that. That doesn't make sense. That was okay. But it was a wonderful place for me to discover here are these like-minded people, even some way out there and some a little more conservative. And that awoken so much of that other part of myself that I didn't know existed.
Is that where this healing came from?
Well, that's where it became.
Or let's find out what it is, actually.
That's where, Somatheta. So I studied, and I was able to be more expansive in that environment. I took classes, and I decided that what I liked was hypnosis because I didn't need any tools. No matter what, there are going to be these earth changes, and no matter what, where I am, what's going on, I could just use my voice and I could help people.
Right.
Okay. If the electricity went down, I could still heal. I had the energy work. I studied Reiki, and I could still just talk and do that. Because I've always studied the mind ever since I was a little. I was a psychology major. I started out in Boston and Northeastern psychology major. So I was doing hypnosis, and I was doing more and more creative things with it. And then I heard about theta healing, and I said, that's what I've been doing. And I went and took some classes, and I studied, are you familiar with theta healing? And I said, hey, okay, so they're doing this, but there's something else that I think that should be included, which is what I was doing. A lot of people are stuck in trauma, and they're in pain, and there are things, hypnosis, you do past life. So I did past life, forward life, future life, present life, whatever we were doing, everything, right? So I created a system that I would upload states of joy and bliss. Okay. Because I'd learned that we are created to be joyful and blissful. But our energy, we're not able to hold high 8 states of joy for a very long time. So maybe in this moment you feel joyful, and then before you know it, your brain has already gone and remembered something that was painful and you forgot the joy. So how do you expand on that ability and open up your energy so that you can maintain and hold joy and bliss for a long time and stay in that state? We can't stay there forever because we experience all the emotions. So Soma, which is foods of the god or elixir of immortality, various names, is a state of being joyful. And also where you just resonate that as you walk, as you meet people. So that is the slight difference. Theta is that state where it's easiest to bring about change. So Somatheta was specifically created to address historical intergenerational trauma. Because a lot of what we experience is not even our stuff. You know?
Right.
It's stuff from the time you were in the womb, or while you were being parent, or a grandma, or somebody who maybe went through the Depression, or maybe she was part of the Holocaust, the Jewish Holocaust, or slavery, or the Japanese, or so many things happen. So, or the Native American with what they experienced. So historical intergenerational trauma. So it wouldn't matter what your trauma was, whether it was just,
So in other words, you don't have to actually do all of the onion peeling to get at it, which I love this. It's like,
Exactly.
okay, it's just trauma. Just
Exactly.
go and let's just lift it up.
Lift it up and replace it with joy and bliss.
Oh my God,
To
girl.
pull out the
let's
pain.
talk about this. I love this.
Pull out the pain, or erase it, or rewrite
Replace it or...
Replace it.
Yes.
Well, we do address the trauma, the emotional trauma, or it could be physical trauma. Mm-hmm. Trauma manifests in different ways.
Right.
Okay, and it covers the whole spectrum: relationships, and relationships with money, relationships with children, relationships.
But what you're
with
saying is that all those things, it ultimately is trauma. It
It's
is an
trauma.
energy of pain, fear, distrust, agitation that it can come from 5,500 different ways.
matter.
It ultimately sort of manifests very similarly in each
very
person.
similarly.
And then this healing can take
Yeah.
place by just getting at the trauma.
Exactly, and
Awesome,
it
literally.
negates the power of who you are, your divinity. The trauma does. So trauma
right.
keeps you away from your divine self.
And by
and-
bringing in this Somatheta healing, it replaces that and
Exactly.
allows the divine energy
Exactly.
to be present
Exactly.
much more often.
Much more often. There's a wonderful.
Okay, so John, I don't know. Are we doing it right now? Are we doing it for our viewers? How do we get this?
Oh, okay. How do you?
How does it happen?
How does the
This is
process-
a big tease for all of us. We must know.
Well, it's very interesting because I was doing it with people. For instance, there's a lady that was she had been diagnosed as being clinically depressed for more than 20 years, and through one session with me. Not everyone takes one session, but one session I was able to discern that by just there's a process where I just get out of the way. See, this was the difference between hypnosis and some of these other healing. I was doing all kinds of stuff, working so hard, and yes, I had results, but I worked hard. Then I needed an hour between each client just to recover, and I said, this Somatheta, it's not me that's
Right.
doing it. Okay, so there's a process that I do where I just kind of get out of the way, I move into my center, and I get straight to 0 point, way out there beyond the planet, and go straight to 0 point. At 0 point, what that looks like to me is like where you say before the Big Bang, it's all dark, and there's darkness on it.
So
you
it's
know.
a cosmological place.
It's a cosmological, so you're using the exact same process of creation and recreate a different set of reality.
So is this something that people, just because we're telling everybody how to do this, or just an understanding, of course, that there are, when we feel in pain, a lot of times it is that sometimes we just don't even really know where it is. I mean, I remember for many women when we're younger, it's just like if you sort of get into that feeling of like, I just don't know what it is. I just don't feel happy, and I should feel happy. I mean, there's such great things around me, but I'm just not feeling it. And it may be hormonal, it might be PMS, it may be this or that. But but what I love about it is like it just doesn't matter. I mean, all those
It
like,
doesn't
is it this, is it that?
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, again, because this is a show of kind of education and stuff, I mean, do people just come to you? I mean, is there a book they can read? Is there,
I'm writing the book, and you know, as we know, that there are many methods that it is assistful. I'm not saying this is the only way, but I know this is a very effective way. And the thing is, I've studied many different things: Reiki, color healing, and I started out being a biology, herbology, you name it, I've studied it. So with me, I do bring all that I know: astrology, numerology, aromatherapy. I mean, it goes on and on. And I decided that what I wanted to do was teach people how to do this.
Cool.
Yes.
So you're gonna write. I think we have a question also. Either John's going to tell me what it is, or I think we have a caller. But anyway, so there's a way that people can actually get to you.
They can get to me
by your website, which is?
It's Somatheta, and it's SOMA Theta, THETA healing.com.
So they can go there and contact you.
And read more about how it works, because there's more specific information that,
Absolutely. But I absolutely love that. So there is a way, and I think, so caller, just wait 1 second, because we will be right with you. Or actually, are they coming forward, John? Yeah. Okay, hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Do you have a question?
Trying to get in touch with... Hello, how are you?
Doing well.
Trying to find out what is the best way to get in touch with Dr. Baruti. I've been trying to find her for a few months now.
Oh.
But I wasn't able to locate her number, so this is like a fate,
It is. So it's perfect. Why don't we, because what we're going to do on the air right here, and then we actually have to jump because we only have a few more minutes. So you can just go to her website, which is, go ahead.
Soma, SOMA Theta, THE, like alpha, beta, theta.
Right.
Healing, HEALING.com.
Cool. So you
I don't
can
have access to a
Google my
computer right now.
Well, you
What's
know
your phone
what?
number?
No, we're not doing that on the air. So unless you want to give out your phone number? No. I don't think so. No. So anyway, we will figure something out. Let's talk after the show. Maybe you can call us back. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. So what I want to also talk about is the Soma Verde Essentials.
Yes. Okay,
But even before we get to that, I just want to also just kind of come back to the place of your journey from being a little girl in Jamaica with your family, with your grandmother, living through and with and on the earth in a really organic, again, authentic, I'm almost getting tired of using that word, but it's the truth in this case.
Yes, it is.
Life, and then going through a lot of trauma with domestic violence, which is a common, unfortunately, a common occurrence these days, and then rising through that, and then getting to this place where you're this beautiful woman who is doing all of these amazing healings. And what I was saying earlier is that the Somatheta healing is, it's sort of the culmination of many different modalities that you've gone through. And that's part of the thing that I was saying in the beginning of the show, is that we're getting to this age or time in life or whatever, where all of our gifts are coming together and creating, in some ways, something new, something joyous, something passionate, something fresh, to keep us vital and in the perhaps second part of our lives, or that kind of thing, to go forward. And so you're a perfect.
Give back? How do you give back?
Indeed, paying it forward.
Exactly. I have, even as a young child, I was always the one that would make friends with the person that no one would talk to, and
the underdog.
I'd bring them home.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
And I made that decision as a young child once I looked around and Jamaica is beautiful, but there's suffering, and I saw suffering.
Yes.
And I wanted to address that.
Yes, exactly.
And I want to address the suffering. How do I address what I know other people are going? Remember, I said I'm intuitive and I'm an empath, so I see other people suffering.
Yes.
And I've been seeing it from the time I was a child. I just didn't have a name for it.
Well, and the other thing is what we realize at this point is healing someone else can really only be done after we've healed ourselves.
Exactly.
And of course, we're all, at least I can speak for myself, work in progress, sort of every day. Okay, absolutely. So what can I give? With where I am, with what I have, and what is possible, and knowing also that I am a work in progress. And so what am I going to learn today? What am I going to heal today? What am I going to pay forward today, right?
I like that. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So you can quote me on that. You can do that yourself.
And I believe in that. I believe in that, and I live. It's like one of the questions I always ask is, how can I be of service to them?
Right.
And that's my question. Not how can I help you? How can I be of service?
Which is a higher elevation.
Exactly.
It really actually is. And a lot of times what someone asks for, or what we think somebody needs, is not really what they need. And so to be lifting above that and come from really a place of as much egoless as we are capable of at the moment, service is, I think, far more impactful and important and significant, and the way it should be. The way it should be.
Exactly. And also because I see every single human being, no matter what they're experiencing in the moment, as gods and goddesses. So I see us as powerful.
Absolutely.
And so it's not that I need to help that person, but maybe I can be of service. See, there's a slight difference.
Yes.
And they can either say thank you or no thank you. This is the way you can be of service to me.
Right.
It doesn't make, it's not saying to them you can't do this for yourself, but it gives them a venue for saying this is how you can be of service.
That's right.
To me.
And the other thing is again, those anonymous acts of kindness are good.
Yes.
And just sort of doing whatever we do,
Exactly.
and then never really knowing. So, for example, like you are, I don't know if we've touched on it enough, but you're so accomplished, and there's so many things that you've done, and so many things that you are. And yet, when we talked yesterday, you were talking to me about how grateful you were to be on this show and what a door opening it is for you.
Absolutely.
And I am thinking, I don't get it. Because you are so amazing. Why are you so grateful? But this is the gift that I feel that we all give each other.
Well, gratitude. Part of being alive is gratitude. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for what at one point I thought was pain and suffering and this person doing these terrible things to me. But it allowed me to be empowered, to discover other sides of myself that I wouldn't have discovered. It took me on this whole journey of exploration. It showed me the multifaceted, these things I'm talking to you about, I may not have had that experience.
Right.
So I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
And you and everyone else, the people listening, they're all part of that experience. So I'm grateful. And so I'm grateful. And because I'm so grateful, I brought you this wonderful box.
Oh my
thank
God. What is this? Oh my gosh, and I have a gift for you too. I'm going to be showing you.
You've given me the
What?
gift.
Oh my gosh, I can smell even
Thank
beauty.
you.
I mean, I can smell beauty going on right now. Oh my gosh, guys, who can't see this for the podcast people, I have an absolutely beautiful box. It says "Believe" on it, and what? Oh my gosh, I am seeing the most beautiful things. Okay, so I just have to show things on the camera. This is. Oh, okay. So
Those are soaps.
Yes, but I was going to say, what is your website? I mean, I know we're promoting you, but I mean, you must be promoted. Let us find out what the website is, so they can go on and check it. Oh my gosh!
Interestingly enough, when I was doing hypnosis and I started to do aromatherapy because it's a way of assisting people. Anxiety, stress, memory. I worked with people that were taking exams and they wanted to know, what can I do so I can recall things? Shake and close your eyes.
Meanwhile, while you're chatting, I'm putting things on people.
So I started to create products to assist people. And out of it became a line of products. And my life changed. I became a vegetarian. I was meditating, doing yoga. My children's life changed. So I started to make products for my children to take care of them.
What?
And it extended and became this whole line of products. And because I'm into healing, I use essential oils. I use natural things, organic wherever I can. And so it's named Soma Verde Essential. Again, Soma, foods of the god or immortality, and Verde is green because we use recyclable, sustainable products, all natural. So I look
over at John to bring applause, because we all know that's my thing.
Yes.
I mean, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So now, okay, so what's the website, or however people can buy these
Soma
things?
Verde, Soma Verde.
They know how to spell it. Don't worry.
.com.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm actually, these products are handcrafted. I make these products and I wrap them and I put them together. So everything you're looking at, I've packaged, I've made the labels, and
this is Bless you. This is so amazing. How do we do this,
So I
John?
just really appreciate
Oh my gosh.
this opportunity. And
This is
I mean,
unbelievable.
you asked the question, why am I grateful? Because being domestic violence, I've had to kind of stay underground while I was raising people because I had certain people in my life. It took me a while to really heal from this. And I'm not saying they caused it. I obviously had some issues that they were able to tap into.
Right.
And so
We know that's how it works.
and the relentlessness sometimes of the perpetrator.
Yes.
Whenever they see that you're about to rise and make your life better, they kind of come and say,
Right.
"No, you
Yep.
can't do this."
That's right.
So until my children were old enough and on their own, and that wasn't being used as a tool, I kind of stayed underground. So I'm grateful because you have opened the door and offered me this venue to share what I do and share my products, share my services.
Well,
and-
guys, you
yeah.
need to. You are so welcome.
why.
And but
Thank
I
you.
mean, so I really want to. In a minute, we're going to actually have to wrap this up. And I actually have a gift for you. But before I give you a gift, I want to again receive this gift. So there are many, many different beautiful products in here, and I'm smelling them and wearing them and spraying them on our engineer, and we're having like a whole field day with these. But this is really, really.
Thank
Bless you.
Thank you.
This is
so
something
much.
I will treasure and
Please, use
and
it,
support, and
enjoy
I
it.
will.
When you want more,
and
call me.
And again, guys, it's so great to be able to vote with our dollar and
Yes.
support people with our dollar, and to take on sustainable products that are organic and natural
Yeah.
and all that. And they're also much, much better for our body because,
Yes.
not to get into a whole thing about that, but when you put things that have
Yeah.
mercury or metals or whatever that you buy, like at CVS, it goes to your liver in 24 hours. So
Yes,
when you think you're just
exactly.
putting something on your skin, it's going to your liver right away.
Yep.
So be conscious of what you put on your skin.
can't eat
And
it,
we
don't
want to
put
be
it on.
conscious of who we put around us.
Yes.
And I was going to actually ask
And
you,
I
but
bless these, by the way.
Oh.
They're specially blessed. I pray as I am making these products.
oh
and
my
so,
gosh. And you had a beautiful prayer before we started the show. So
yes,
I
I
am very much hoping and knowing
Thank you.
that anyone listening to this show, no matter what our words were, which may have
Yeah.
been somewhat insignificant or whatever we spoke
Sure,
about, just two
sure.
women chatting away here,
Yes.
that you guys out there have learned something and feel something and are inspired in some way. And also, I love the most important takeaway that I have from today myself is that, other than my takeaway beautiful gifts, is that there is a way to not have to spend years and years and thousands of dollars with therapists and different people to get at our joy, that we can. There are ways to get
There are
at it,
ways.
and I feel that we can go through and work with you. And there are, I think, ways that we can just say, you know what, it's just okay, and we can just let it go and just know it's okay to be joyful and to be positive and to be filled with our bliss and to know that that is our divine
Exactly.
given right
Exactly.
as humanity, and to
Yes.
share that with each
Yes.
other as
Yes.
beautiful, beautiful human beings. And I think we have like 3 minutes left. And so
Okay.
I want to honor you with a book I absolutely love. And it is actually called Contagious Optimism. And uplifting stories and motivational advice for positive forward thinking by David Mezzapelle and many other amazing people. So this is your gift
thank
today.
you. And you know, I love contagious optimism. I'm going to begin to use these two words more often.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
thank
love
you.
that.
It's
I really, really
beautiful.
love that. And you know, it's something that is what David is starting this movement, and we're part of it, being
Yes,
on this show today
beautiful.
and doing what we're doing in our event that we
Thank
had
you.
last week, and going forward with the idea that the time has come. We need each other for it. When
Yes.
we're optimistic and we're in a beautiful place, and we know we
Yes.
are. It is contagious,
It
and
is.
it's like that. And so, John, we have like 1 minute. So I want to just sing this little thing as we're going out. We have 2 minutes? Okay, I'm not singing yet then, because it's not. I don't want to do that. But I do want to remind people that. Oh yes, my guest is pointing out to me that I'm also wearing. We're like show and tell today. I love this. I'm wearing a beautiful necklace that has an amazing energy in it, and we have 30 seconds for it. But I was going to tell you also that I was going to have you share a story like is in Contagious Optimism, Optimism, but you already have. So we have already done it.
Yes.
With your journey as a story. It is a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And so thank you for sharing that with me today.
Thank you for allowing me to share it.
Oh,
Thank you
my
very
gosh.
much. Yes.
And what I am wearing is in 25 seconds. Tell me what I'm wearing, because I love this. It feels amazing.
Well, we are on the phone, we're indoors, we work with computers, and so this helps to create an energy field around you to protect your immune system, to reinforce your own strength and
your own
protection.
good juju.
Yes. Well, this is like scalar energy. It's known as scalar energy. This is quantum wellness pendant.
Awesome.
It's just easy and effortless to wear.
Super beautiful. Yeah. I just love it. So I want to thank our beautiful sister, Reverend Sylmarah Baruti from Jamaica, Canada, Beverly Hills, and thank you. And I'm just going to sing a little something for us, and I want you guys to take this little jingle with you and sing it all the time. And this is written by Harold Payne, who just pulled it out of his guitar and hat for our Contagious Optimism Live event last week. And so it kind of goes like this. Optimism is contagious. Oh, yeah. Say it loud and sing it strong. Don't you think? Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Yeah? Sing it loud and sing it strong. Do-do-do. Sing it loud and sing it strong. Oh, yeah. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. So, guys, do that. Have it, be it. Until next time, this is Sunny Chayes with Contagious Optimism, and we are out of here for now. Bye-bye.
It's the Contagious Optimism Show with inspiring host Sunny Chayes, featuring best-selling author David Mezzapelle. Real people with real stories of perseverance and hope. Join Sunny and guests ranging from Contagious Optimism co-authors to world leaders as they find the silver lining. Better understand why optimism is so empowering. Be recharged, inspired, and perhaps surprised as they tap into the secrets of a joyful life. To celebrate the human spirit. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific on UBN Radio and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific on Gwen Network TV.